You're 4-2. You're halfway through the season. How would you assess up until this point how the year's gone for you?
Well, we'd certainly like to be 6-0. We felt like in the 2 losses that we had, we didn't coach good enough, and we obviously, because of that, we didn't play good enough. So, I think being at 4-2 right now, there's a lot of improvements to be made. That's why bye weeks are good. We've had 2 really good practices here, Tuesday and Wednesday, and we've tried to shore up some things. Third down offense has to improve, and some of the things that we do against spread teams on defense has to improve, and we've worked on special teams too. So we have a lot of improvement to make, but 4-2 is better than 3-3, and we're looking forward to playing 6 one-game seasons heading into the last half of the season.
You kind of talked about that, but how would you grade yourself up until this point this season?
I don't know, Willie. I don't get into grading myself. I always look to improve. I can tell you this. I don't think I ever go into my office and am satisfied. I can tell you that, just with my own performance. I think there's been some good things, and I think there's been a lot of things that I need to do to improve. Call better plays, be better in situational football, recruit better, set up practice better. So I'm always thinking about ways to help myself and to help our staff and our players be better.
You guys are 5-1 after a loss. Now, it's a lot easier said than done to say, well, hey, we're going to move on to the next one. But you guys managed to do that. The one loss you had was only by a point. Why do you think the team's bought into that so well during your tenure?
Yeah, I think that you have to give credit to the players here. They're a really focused group of guys. And when we come into this room here on the Monday following a loss, we move on from the loss. What that means is we watch the tape from the loss, and we try to correct the mistakes, but as soon as that film's over, we're moving on to the next opponent. And we do the same thing after a win. So we came in here after Michigan, we watched Michigan, we said, hey, this is good, this is bad, this is what we need to improve upon, and we immediately move on to Ohio State. And I think that you have to give the players and the staff a lot of credit there because they buy into that. They do that, and that's what's fun. One of the things that's fun about coaching this team.
You mentioned the emotional win against Michigan. I know it's important for this year, excuse me, but how important is it for the program? You had over 100 recruits here. That's a program win. What would you say about the Michigan game going forward, what that does for the program?
Well, it'll be determined to see how it all plays out, but I think any time you beat a 5-0 Michigan team in front of 108,000 fans with, like you said, some top prospects here, and your players going out there and laying it on the line, and the line of RVs that was waiting to get in the parking lots, all the things that go into a great Penn State atmosphere. I think it means a lot for your program. But what do you do with it from here? You could go out there and just rest on your laurels of beating a Michigan team, and then that's really going to end up biting you because at the end of the day, you've got some really tough opponents, obviously Ohio State first. So we've got to understand that for the present team, we have to, take the good things that we did there, learn from the bad things that we did against Michigan, and move on to Ohio State. But I think when you look at the whole program and where we're headed, it was a very, very good win for us.
As you guys continue to win, the program gains more exposure. You attract a lot more attention. Are recruits as worried that you're going to leave as much as alums are? You go to alums, hey, as Penn State continues to win, he's going to attract more attention all over the place. Do you get those questions as much from recruits? Are they as worried as alums are that, hey, if he continues to win, he's going to gain more attraction with other jobs?
I think that, you get a lot of questions from recruits. You get questions about academics. You get questions about the depth chart. And certainly you get questions about your own future. And I can tell you that I really like it here. My wife and kids, that's the most important. They love living here. The school system's great for them. And I really enjoy coaching these players. I tell these guys all the time, coming into work every day, can't wait to get here, can't wait to stand up in front of this team and present the next game plan and talk to them about what they can do better academically and how they can improve on the field. So like I always say, I'm committed to this football team here at Penn State, and I really enjoy coaching here.
With New England, you guys were the standard of the NFL. Every franchise wants to be like New England. Some would say Ohio State's the standard of the Big Ten up until this point. They haven't lost under Urban Meyer. What do you have to do as a program to overtake them as that standard? You were in the position that you were the standard in the NFL. Now, how do you take down the standard?
That's a great point, Willie. They are the standard in the Big Ten. You know, anytime you win 18 games in a row, it's hard enough to win one game. Take it from me, and to be able to do that is a testament to their program, to Urban Meyer as a head football coach. And you're right, they are the standard. So what do you do to try to compete with that? Well, you have to be yourself. You have to be who you are. You know, and Penn State to me is about a bunch of resilient kids with a great university that it's a place where you can come and get a great education and play championship football, we think, in front of 108,000 fans. We're not there yet. We're not there. We're striving to be there. How do we get there? Well, we practice better. We lift harder. We recruit better. We have to recruit. Recruiting, as you look to the future of the program, is a big part of what we're doing. And you know, as time goes on, let the chips fall where they may. And you know, eventually you've got to win on the field. You've got to beat that team on the field, Ohio State being the standard bearer in the Big Ten. Eventually you have to beat them, whether it's this year or next year. You know, you better win on the field. And you know, that's what we're striving to do. They're a great football program. Give them a lot of credit. This is a huge challenge for us, and our kids, they'll show up on Saturday night.
I've always wondered, is there another program in the country or a coach that you emulate or that you aspire? Like, do you look at a program around the country and say, man, they do it the right way? Or do you take things from different programs? Is there one program out there that you look at and say, you know what, we want to be like them?
It's a great question. I do. I look at certain programs for certain things, and you know, there are programs out there that I really, like you said, hold in high regard. There are a ton of great programs out there, but you know, I'd have to tell you that I look at Alabama. I think the way Coach Saban does things down at Alabama is the right way to do things. I think he has a big, tough, physical, smart football team that he's built over time, and to me, they're the best team in the country. And I look at them. Then I look at even Kirk Ferentz, who I know personally at Iowa. I like the way they do things. Not that they're always, you know, winning championships year in and year out, but they do things the right way. So I look at different programs around the country, and I do study the way they do things, probably more so in the off season. But those are two examples of programs that I would look at.
Before you got here, the year before you got here, Allen Robinson had 3 catches for 29 yards. Since you've been here, he's obviously exploded.
Right.
Who would you attribute that to? Why has he been so dominant in your tenure in the 2 years here?
Right, Willie. I attribute that to Allen, number one. I think he's come in here and done a great job of learning this offense. He's worked extremely hard in the weight room to become stronger and faster and in better condition. I attribute some of it to the system, and I attribute a lot of it to Coach Hickson. Right. You know, here's a guy, Stan Hickson, that's coached a lot of great receivers. You know, he's been in the pros, Redskins, Buffalo Bills, and obviously LSU. I was with him at Georgia Tech, where we coached a number of great receivers. So I think the combination of those, led by Allen's own determination to be as good as he can be, you know, are big factors in his own development and where he is right now.
Your quarterback, Christian Hackenberg's been Big Ten Freshman of the Week 3 times. He's had incredible poise this season. What are some things that you've liked that he's done? And going forward, what would you like to see him continue to develop?
Well, I like a lot of what he's done. You know, I think to come in here as an 18-year-old freshman and to play in front of 100,000 fans, everybody's watching you, and to play with the poise that he's played with and to handle the media the way he's handled the media to this point, I think it's commendable. I mean, I just can't say enough about the kid. Now, you know, every day we come in here and think of different things that he can be better at. You know, be better at reading coverage, be better at watching film, be better at understanding the running game, be better at situational football. But I think to this point, 6 games into a freshman year where he really didn't have a spring practice, came here in June for the Summer Bridge program, really just had a training camp, you know, to learn the system. It's a testament to him, and hopefully he can keep it going. He's got a very bright future. He's a hard-working kid and fun guy to coach.
You've coached a lot of quarterbacks. You've seen a lot of quarterbacks. Does he remind you of anybody, or is he a combination, or what do you see in him?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that he reminds me, you know, specifically of somebody. You know, I think he's got a really good brain, which Brady had. I think he's got really good athletic ability, which Matt Castle had. I think he's got really good playing strength. He's able to hang in the pocket and you know, have guys hanging on him and be able to still deliver the ball. He's got good poise. I think he's his own player. He's got his own style of playing, and I think that's going to get better as the years go on, obviously. You know, he has yet to even have a full year in our weight program with Fitzy, you know, so, you've got to think that there's going to be major improvement between his first and second year. And so he doesn't really remind me specifically of someone. He's his own player, and that's what's great about him.
You got 6 Big Ten games in a row. It's to the finish. 6 in a row, no more buys. How tough is that going to be, and what are you looking for in your team in the second half of the year?
Well, it's very tough. It's a very challenging schedule, starting with Ohio State right here, which, like you said, and I agree with you, is the best team in our conference. You know, number 4 team in the country, 18-game winning streak. You know, it's a challenging road ahead. But I think if we can just, like we've said all year, just kind of try to win each day. You know, go out to practice, have a good practice today. Then think about, okay, watch the film from that practice, then try to win the next day. And just focus on the task at hand. I think at the end of the day, that's the best way for this team to attack things. And then let's see what happens. They're all going to be competitive games. We have 3 more home games, you know, and then 3 games on the road. So, you know, these are tough games, and we got to start just focusing on Ohio State, which is what we're doing right now, and just really look forward to the challenges.
You mentioned earlier in the interview how much you enjoy living here. You've been so warmly embraced since you came here. What's the most underrated aspect of your job that people don't get to see how much you enjoy, and what do you enjoy most about living here? Why have you enjoyed this experience so much?
Well, I mean, there's so many. I don't know. That's a great question about what's the most underrated. You know, I love coaching these kids. That part of my job, to come in here and show tape and you know drive these kids to be better, and then I love being able to talk to them about the education that they can receive here, because I'm a big believer in that. You know, I'm a pretty well-educated guy, and I understand what that can do for your life. So I love those 2 aspects. I can't tell you, you know, enough about what I feel about the student body. I mean, this is just a fantastic student body here. So that game the other night in Michigan with 30,000 students in the stands, I mean, what can you say? I mean, that's just a fantastic atmosphere. I like the setting. I always tell these kids, you know, what a great place to go to college and play college football. You know, you have the mountains of central Pennsylvania, great setting here. You have College Ave, you have just great spirit on this campus. So there are a lot of things that I like about this place that are probably underrated to people, and those are some of them.